My 27F husband, Tim, 36M, has a serious dairy allergy. I'm talking about an actual immune system reaction, not intolerance. His allergy is serious enough to cause acute enterocolitis, but he hasn't needed an EpiPen since he was a kid. I work full-time and also have some seasonal work this holiday season because Tim has been without work and money has been very tight. As a result, I barely get to rest. The holidays are especially hard, and I found myself getting just one day off every 2 weeks for almost 2 months straight. As you can imagine, that day off means the universe to me. Now, Tim loves dairy and will sometimes intentionally eat things which trigger his allergy. Lately, it's gotten out of hand, with him going from one risky meal every 4-6 months to every 2 or so weeks. In fact, it always seemed to coincidentally line up with my time off, and I found myself spending my one day taking care of him. Last week, I finally asked him if he was intentionally timing it to line up with my day off. I fully expected him to say no, but he admitted that he was doing it to make sure that he'd have a nurse, and so he'd have someone close by in case he had an especially adverse reaction and needed a hospital. I was livid and told him that he was selfish, robbing me of my rest. I said that if he made himself sick again, I wouldn't take care of him. I'm exhausted, and I need to decompress. He didn't say much, so I thought he'd heard me. Fast forward to Friday night. I get home from work, and a few minutes in, Tim gets a pizza delivered. I ask him why when I'm making dinner, and he shrugs. I ask if a large garlic Alfredo pizza is worth the pain, and remind him that I won't be giving up my rest day again. He smirks and eats an entire slice while grinning at me. I left it at that and went back to my dinner. Predictably, he got sick, profusely vomiting, retching, and groaning from the intense cramping and diarrhea. I slept in the guest room to get away from the sound and smell. He called for me several times, and I repeatedly told him no. Hours later, he was still sick and woke me up at the crack of dawn to go get him Pedialyte and meds because he was very dehydrated and still in pain. I told him to order it in and asked him to get out and let me sleep. He was still whimpering when I eventually got up to shower and eat. Again, I did nothing to help or comfort him. By evening, he was sulking, and by morning, when I had to work, he was enraged. He yelled, and by the end of the day, he'd told our friends and family that he nearly died, and I neglected him. His family accused me of passively trying to kill him. His mom called, shouting that he could have had a life-threatening reaction due to my petty actions, and that I'm a shit wife for not minding his health. I'm starting to feel guilty because she's right and he could have been seriously hurt. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, 35M, for 3 years. We dated for 2 years before that. I want to start this off by saying that he really is a good guy in other areas. My husband's parents, his 2 brothers, ages 38 and 40-ish, and his brother's girlfriend's fiancés have a tradition of going out to dinner once a month. I am invited about 50% of the time. I've talked to my husband's brother's fiancé, and she says she is invited every time. When I say I'm not invited, I mean that my husband tells me, "I'm going to the family dinner. It's probably best if you sit this one out." When I expressed that I wanted to come, he told me that it would be for the best if I didn't. It has caused several fights. About a week ago, my husband went to a family dinner that I wasn't invited to. I was very pissed, so earlier that day, I called and made a reservation at the restaurant they were going to. My husband left the house not knowing about my reservations, and I left 15 minutes after him. I ended up seated at a table where I couldn't see his family, so I got up as if I was going to the bathroom and walked right past them. They were all there, including his brother's SOs. My husband looked completely shocked and asked me what I was doing there. I told him that I had just been dying for a steak, so I came and got one at the restaurant. My mother-in-law said it was very rude of me to interrupt their family dinner. I pointed out that I wasn't trying to join them, I was just going to the bathroom. I told them to have a good meal and I left. I went and finished my steak by myself. My husband was really pissed when he came home, and he told me that he couldn't believe how much of an asshole I had been. I said that he was an asshole for not inviting me to his dinners when his brother's SOs got to go. My husband said that the decision to invite was between him and his family, and I should respect it. Anyway, with the way the word asshole was thrown around, it made me think of this sub. So I wanted to ask if I am the asshole. Am I?
Hi everyone. I'm engaged to a man I love deeply. We're getting married in a few months. Everything has been smooth between us except when it comes to his sister. Let's call her Elle. From the start, Elle has made it very clear she doesn't like me. She never says anything directly cruel, but always finds a way to make me feel small. Comments like, "You're not family yet," or "Wow, he's never dated someone like you before." All with a sweet little smile. I've never responded rudely. I usually just smile and change the subject. But this weekend, during a family dinner, she said something about me marrying into money and how I should be grateful. I calmly said, I didn't think that was appropriate. Later that night, my fiancé told me, I know she's out of line, but could you just apologize to keep the peace? She's sensitive. I was stunned. I told him I felt hurt, not just by her, but by him asking me to apologize when I've done nothing wrong. He said he just wants everything to be smooth until the wedding. I don't know what to do. I've never wanted to be someone who starts family drama, but I also don't want to keep swallowing my pride, just to keep other people comfortable. Any advice? How do you handle someone who subtly disrespects you and a partner who sees it but still wants you to let it go?